Thank you, Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Ministers, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Members of Parliament, and to everyone listening throughout Fiji, Nisam Bulevinaka and greetings to you all. I rise today in support of the 2026-2037 National Budget, appropriately themed a responsible budget for a sustainable future. At the outset, I congratulate the Honourable Prime Minister and also the Honourable Minister for Finance and the dedicated staff for presenting a budget that seeks to strengthen Fiji's economy while continuing to invest in the well-being of our people. Honourable Speaker, the budget has been prepared at a time when the global economy remains uncertain. Many countries continue to face inflationary pressures, volatile markets, high fuel prices, and the increasing impacts of climate change. These challenges have affected governments around the world, and Fiji, as a small island developing state, has not been immune to those pressures. Against this backdrop, government has been required to make difficult choices. Every budget involves balancing immediate national priorities with long-term fiscal responsibility. It requires careful judgment, prudent management, and a clear understanding that every dollar invested today must contribute to a stronger and more resilient Fiji tomorrow. That is why this budget deserves to be assessed not simply by the size of its allocations, but by the opportunity it creates and the confidence it gives our people about the future. Honourable Speaker, as this parliamentary term gradually draws to a close, I have also taken time to reflect not only on this national budget, but also on the way we as members of Parliament approach these annual debates. Having now participated in 3 budget debates, as also one of the youngest members of this august House, I have the privilege of listening to the experienced members from both government and opposition. Those debates have reminded me that Parliament performs its best when different ideas are examined with honesty, respect, and a genuine desire to improve the lives of our people. Debate is fundamental to democracy. We as government have a responsibility to explain our policies and justify the decisions we have made. The opposition have an equally important responsibility to scrutinize those decisions and hold government accountable for the use of public resources. Both roles are essential because they strengthen public confidence in our democratic institutions. Honourable Speaker, my reflection, however, goes beyond the debate itself. I've come to appreciate that every budget discussion should begin with a simple question: what matters most to the people who entrusted us with their votes? That question should shape every contribution we make in this chamber. It should remind us that behind every allocation, every policy and every program is a family hoping for greater security, a young person looking for opportunity, a business striving to grow, and a community working towards a better future. As the Assistant Minister for Youth and Sports, I am particularly mindful that many of those expectations rest with our younger generation. Young Fijians are not simply waiting for opportunities, they are preparing themselves to contribute to our nation's future. They want access to quality education, relevant skills, meaningful employment, and positive pathways through sports, leadership, and community service. The decisions we make in this House today will influence whether those aspirations become reality. It is with that perspective, Honourable Speaker, that I offer my contributions to this budget debate. Honourable Speaker, when we debate a national budget, it is easy to become absorbed in figures, appropriations, and physical projections. While these are essential to sound financial management, they are not what most Fijians remember when the debate is over. What they remember is whether this budget gives them confidence that tomorrow can be better than today. Across our countries, families are asking practical questions. Can they continue to meet the rising cost of living every day? Will there be stable employment and new opportunities for those entering the workforce? Will their children receive the education and training needed to build successful lives? Will healthcare remain accessible when they need it the most? Those are not abstract economic questions. They are the realities that shape daily life for thousands of Fijians throughout the country. For many young people, the questions are equally important. They are asking whether their hard work at school or through vocational training will lead to meaningful employment. They want opportunities to develop their talents, contribute to their communities, and build independent lives. They are looking for pathways that reward effort, encourage innovation, and give them confidence to remain and invest in Fiji's future. That is why investment in youth development are not simply social programs. They are investment in national productivity, social stability, and long-term economic growth. Honorable Speaker, the same principle applies to sports. Sports is often recognized for the pride it brings to our nation on the international stage, but its greatest contribution begins much closer to home. It teaches discipline, teamwork, and resilience. It keeps young people engaged in positive activities. It promotes healthier communities and creates opportunities for leadership, inclusion, and national unity. Every investment we make in community sport, athlete development, and sporting infrastructure is also an investment in stronger families and stronger communities. That is why I welcome this budget continued commitment to both youth and sports, recognizing that these sectors are not expenses to be managed, but strategic investment in Fiji's future. Honorable Speaker, no budget can meet every expectation, nor can it resolve every challenge within a single financial year. The responsibility of this government is to establish clear priorities, allocate resources responsibly, and create the conditions for progress. Our responsibility as members of Parliament is also equally important. We must examine those priorities carefully, ensure that public resources are used effectively, and encourage continuous improvement in the delivery of public services. Constructive scrutiny should strengthen policy, not weaken public confidence. Likewise, constructive support should encourage good decisions while recognizing that every government must remain accountable for the commitment it makes. When we approach our responsibility in that spirit, Honorable Speaker, the great beneficiaries are not government or opposition. The greatest beneficiaries are the people of Fiji. That, Honorable Speaker, should always remain the purpose of our deliberations in this House. Honorable Speaker, ultimately, the success of any budget is determined not by the announcement made in this chamber, but by the outcomes experienced in our community. Our program is only successful when it reaches the people it was intended to serve. A policy has value only when it delivers measurable improvement. An allocation achieves its purpose only when it is translated into action. That is why implementation matters to this government. It requires strong leadership, capable public institutions, responsible financial management, and regular evaluation to ensure that resources are producing the results Parliament intended. As a government, we have a responsibility not only to approve programs, but also to ensure they are delivered efficiently, transparently, and in a way that earns the confidence of the people of Fiji. Honorable Speaker, throughout our history, Fiji has faced many challenges. We have experienced natural disasters, economic shocks, and periods of uncertainty that have tested our resilience as a nation. Yet each time our people have demonstrated remarkable courage and determination. We see that resilience every day. We see it in farmers who continue to cultivate the land despite difficult seasons. We see it in fishermen who provide to their families through dedication and hard work. We see it in entrepreneurs who continue investing in their businesses despite changing economic conditions. We see it in teachers who shape future generations, healthcare workers who care for our communities, and parents who make sacrifices every day so that their children may have opportunities they themselves have never enjoyed. Their perseverance reminds us that nation building is not the responsibility of government alone. It is a shared responsibility. Government creates the policy environment. Business creates investment and employment. Communities provide support and belonging. Families, nature values, and aspirations. Together, these partnerships build a stronger Fiji. Honorable Speaker, this is why our investment in young people deserves special attention. The future strength of our nation will not be measured solely by economic indicators or infrastructure projects. It will be measured by the capability, character, and confidence of our next generation. When a young person acquires a new skill, secures meaningful employment, starts a business, or chooses to contribute positively to society, the benefits extend far beyond that individual. Families become stronger, communities become more resilient, our economy becomes more productive. Similarly, when sport encourages healthy lifestyle, promotes inclusion, and inspires excellence, it contributes to outcomes that extend well beyond the playing field. It develops discipline, strengthens social cohesion, and creates role models who inspire others to pursue their own ambitions. These are lasting investments that continue to deliver benefits long after the financial year is ended. Honorable Speaker, for these reasons, I welcome the continued commitment in this budget to programs that expand opportunities for our young people, strengthen community participation, and promote sporting development throughout Fiji. This investment reflects an understanding that sustainable development is achieved not only through economic growth, but also through developing capable, healthy, and engaged citizens. As we move into the new financial year, our collective responsibility is clear. We must ensure that commitments contained in our budget are implemented effectively, monitored carefully, and reviewed honestly. That is how we transform appropriations into outcomes, policies into progress, and public confidence into lasting national development. Honorable Speaker, I return to the simple question I posed earlier. What matters most to the people of Fiji? Ultimately, they want a country where hard work is rewarded, where young people have genuine opportunities to succeed, where families can look to the future with confidence, and where government continues to act responsibly in managing the nation's resources. Those aspirations are shared across every province, every community, and every generation. They also remind us the decisions we make in this House carry responsibilities far beyond our parliamentary term. Every budget is an investment in the kind of Fiji we hope to leave to those who come after us. It is therefore our duty to ensure that today's decision strengthens tomorrow's opportunities. Honorable Speaker, I'm particularly encouraged that this budget continues to recognize the important role of our young people in shaping our nation's future. Young Fijians are not merely beneficiaries of government programs, they are innovators, volunteers, entrepreneurs, athletes, community leaders, and future decision makers. When we invest in their education, strengthen skills development, encourage entrepreneurship, and create pathways through sport, we are investing in the leadership, productivity, and resilience of Fiji itself. Equally, our continued support for sports reflects an understanding that success is measured not only by medals won on the international stage, but also by stronger communities, healthier lifestyles, and the values of discipline, teamwork, and respect that sports helps instill our people. These are investments whose returns will be measured over by generation. Honorable Speaker, no budget is ever perfect. Every budget requires choices. Every budget reflects the realities of its time. What matters is that we continue to listen, continue to improve, and continue to ensure that public resources are managed with integrity, transparency, and accountability. That is how confidence is built, that is how trust is earned, and that is how we strengthen partnership between government and the people that we are privileged to serve. Honorable Speaker, the Fiji we build today depends on the decision we make today. Now, to conclude, Honorable Speaker, please allow me to respond to some of the members of the opposition who have spoken before me continue to refer to the last government achievements. As we continue this budget debate throughout this week, these have been my observation, which I believe people outside this chamber share or even had enough of it during this parliament term. Too often when we have budget debate, we hear members of opposition spend a great deal of time reminding the nation of what the previous government achieved years ago. Honorable Speaker, there is nothing wrong with acknowledging. Honorable Speaker, I want to remind them that there is nothing wrong with acknowledging past accomplishments. Every government leaves behind policies, projects and reforms that have contributed to the country's development. And those achievements deserve recognition where it is due. However, the responsibility of the coalition government today is not simply to celebrate the past. It is to address the present and prepare for the future. Honorable Speaker, Fijians who voted for us to Parliament are not asking us to recite a list of yesterday's achievements. They are asking us how today's decision will improve their lives. Fijians want to know how will they cope with the cost of living, how will they find employment, how will their children receive a quality education, and how will they put food on the table. Our debates should reflect those concerns. Honorable Speaker, when we spend too much time looking backward, we risk overlooking the challenges that require our attention today. Fijians expect Parliament to examine the current budget, assess whether public resources are being used effectively, and consider what more can be done to strengthen the economy and improve essential services. Honorable Speaker, past achievements can provide useful context, but they should not become a substitute for explaining current policies or responding to current challenges. As we respond to the national budget address, I hope all of us, regardless of which side you are on in this August House, remember that leadership is not measured only by what was accomplished yesterday. It is also measured by how we respond to the needs of the people today and how we prepare our nation for tomorrow. Honorable Speaker, the Fijian people deserve honest answers, practical solutions, and respectful debate. Fijians deserve representatives who spend more time discussing opportunities and solutions than defending records or assigning blame. Honorable Speaker, we as members of Parliament must remember that our duty extends beyond election cycles. Whether we sit on government benches or in the opposition, we are all entrusted with representing the interest of the people. To the people of our nation, let me say this: continue to make your voices heard. Share your experiences, participate in your communities, and hold all of us, regardless of political parties or status, to a high standard of service and accountability. With that, Honorable Speaker, I support the budget.